Good afternoon.
That's a nice smile.
The campaign against terrorism continues. Our immediate military objectives remain the destruction of the Al-Qaeda network, the Taliban leadership, and the end of Afghanistan as a place where terrorists are harbored. We have large rewards out, and our hope is that the dual incentive of helping to free that country, coupled with substantial monetary rewards, will incentivize, through the great principle of University of Chicago economics, incentivize a large number of people to begin crawling through those tunnels and caves looking for the bad folks.
How are you getting the word out about the reward money?
We have leaflets that are dropping like snowflakes in December in Chicago.
Ben Abavuri Qasim, Şərq Türkistan'dan 2001 yılı Pakistan armiyası tarafından Amerika'ya terörist deb setilgan. Ben Uyghur.
Meni Afg'onistonda $5000 Amerika hukumatiga terrorist deb sotgan. Ismim Ahmad Abdulahad, men Uyg'ur.
Mening ismim Khalil Mahmud. Pakistan hukumati meni Amerikaga terrorist deb setib bergan. Men Uyg'ur.
Dünya xalqi anglab kelyapti, ham hozirgacha anglayapti. Bizningki yurtimiz bo'lgan, biz Sharq Turkiston deymiz, yurtimizni Xitoylar hamda Xinjiang, Yangi Makan deb ataydi. Bizning shu bizni besib olgan 49 yil besib olgandan yoqi shuni unutib bizga har jihatdan qila olgancha shu bizni yo'qotish tarafdor, shu nima qila olsa shuni shunda yo'qotib kelyapti.
Bir 1997-2005 günki G'ulji bu namoyishida 500 bola asosan dinni erkinlik talab qilish, ularningki dinni erkinlik bo'lgan siyosatni tanqidlash.
Yani yerde sonra yani yerde şu yani kollarının barmaklarını eleyip yerde yana çıdıksız derecede şu yani uruş bol diye tamga yölap koyup tömök kaltekler bilen muzun üstüne yatkızıp koydu. Su içilgan. Hem de iştilağa, taltışqa şu iştilarını hep geldi. Hem de qarsam yerden nurgun ayallar, hatta kızlar.
Şu erlik näsini tokulan qıynap yoqtap ayollarını bozak qılıp aldılar. Aştaqaga işler nizbade. Şondan kişilerning sen bu jihatlardan sel qo'rqib degan o'xshash shu Xitoyning zulmidan.
3 yıldan 25 yıla kadar aldık yani 1 yıl balı kesildi. Öldürüp etkenler var. Ama şu fevral meselesi geldi. Gulcu halkının ki oynayışına sebep olup kendine. Onun diken ben oynayıp hem de özümüzün vatanımızdan müstakil için iş kılmasak, bombayla şahit kaptı. Hatta biz kırışını ayakmışlarla koydak yaşap besek mi hamine bunda kırgın kılaydıken. Yalnız ki şu yaşlı olan İslam'ın teşvikat işleri de belli boğan diken 98. 6. ayda beni Türkçe tutkun kıldı. Aslında şu tokulan şu kıynaşlan oldu. Şu vaqtda meni asosiyatdan sen shularning jimisidan davlatni parchalashga uringan deb shundoq tuhmat bilan 7 oy tutib turgan. Qo'yib bergandan keyin shu keyin shu saqchi kirib olib oxiri chet el chiqib ketaymi.
Şunun bilan ba'zida biz diniy erkinligimiz hatta masjidga erkin ozod kirib namoz o'qiy olmaymiz. Bu yoqdan qisqilib bergandan keyin men sirtga chiqib tirikchilik qilish va sirtda yashash narsasini shu o'yladim. Buni ayolim bilan deyishgan bu ayolim qo'shildi.
Shundan abim shu vatandan bir arilib sirtga chiqib asak bir o'qib shu Turkistondagi 25 milyon Müslüman Uyghur qarindoshlarimga vazirlik bir manfaat beray. 1998 yılı 8. ayının 13. ayga vaqtim. Turkistondan Pokistonga kelgan o'qish uchun.
Şu qiyinchilikqa hozir uyadagi bolada shu nimada yezi var, Uyg'urlar yezisi Afg'onistonda. Ochiq chegara ekan. Yodli ishimiz $2 aldık millatdan. İlada yugadik o'zimizga dal Afg'onga o'xshashlar. O'tib ketib ishimizni nega borsam demedi. Şu o'tib yerda optozga o'ttirdik. Qatnaşını düşsek, şimdi biz iki Uyghur bal saklap duruptuk ki. Maşimden. Bunu açık bizim tağlık rayonga, Jalalabad'dan 3 saat 4 saat jira tağlık rayonga. Şu apadı şu Uyghur yez şuken. Basak şu 20 neçe balı vaken. Asasiyatin şu Orta Asya'nın qaşıqqan, Xitaydan keçip chiqqan. Bizim şu 2-3 ay turumuz hem bir oşuq turamayımız. Muş saatini çıktık. Boladı. Orlaştırdı. Şu tudağım. İbadet qilib, mesela Kur'an o'qishni o'rganib, ayna o'ti deganimda, ba'zida gayliqi ma chunki uning bexatarligi kechida 2-3 odam qurolliq nimada tumsa, qarovliq tumus bo'lmaydi ekan. U Afg'oniston qilam qo'ygan ekan. Shuningla o'nga xoliganligi shu Kalashnikovni o'rgatdi ekan. Çünkü kişide qoralsız tursa, biraz yomon niyatli odam kelsa ish qilolmaydi. Shuning uchun ya tuğan balalarning hammamizning Afgan xalqi olsun, Taliban olsun hürmetimiz batdı. Çünkü hech qanday bir davlatda Uyg'urlarga o sharoitni qilib bergan davlat yo'q. Pasportsiz berib, hech qanday narsa, hech qanday deb, hattoki pul topmay mashadi, uch vaqt tomog'ini yeyim deb ashadning qismi shu ham u tarafdan rahmat. Har tarafdan ular bo'lgan nimamiz bor. Chunki o sharoitni hech qanday davlat Uyg'urlarga qilgan emas.
Ondan keyin u yerda ma'lum mezgil tug'andan keyin men ayolimni, hozir o'g'lim bilan ayolimni yandirib chiqdim. Endi shularni jam bo'lib, endi yana boshqa bir yerga yo'tkilishninki taraddudini qilyapti, shu bir yerni o'qishib, endi iqtisod masalasi bor bu yerda, shu narsani o'ylab turganda tuyuqsiz bu yerda sentabr voqeasi bo'ldi.
On my orders, the United States military has begun strikes against Al-Qaeda terrorist training camps and military installations of the Taliban regime in Afghanistan.
Onun diğer bombardıman başlandı. Bizim boğan diken laqı tuyuqsiz boğan diken uxlayotgan odam birdan cho'chibla o'tirib qolgan hamma odamda. O'zim uyquchilikda beterekdim. Hattoki balla oyoqlarini topolmay qo'ygandek bo'lib ketgan qorong'u o kechada. Chunki uning ovozini anglasangiz qip-qizil o't yenyotdi. Bunda qarab ekanmi, atrof tushyotdi. Ne resmilik bazı kinolda ko'rgan amaliyot ko'rib u boshqacha bo'ldi ekan, dahshat o'y lap o't yongan ekan. G'arqa degan qilqim bu so'z kirdi. Aram putimni ko'tarib aşağı yugadimda. Şunu tanıtkandan keyin biz bombardan to'xtatib chiqdik. Chiqsa shu g'arning oldida shu bir aydan shu go'shtlar pach menda topdik-ku bir aydanikini. Qag'alar yo'qolib ketdi. O o'ldimi, nima bo'ldi, kuyib tugdimi, faqat bir odamnikini shu putlarini, qo'llarini tepib yig'ib ashak ko'mdik. Qag'alar yo'qolib ketdi. Chiqsak shu biz turgan yerlar, uylar, daraxtlar kulib ketibdi. Naqa shu Yaponga tashlab-ku atom bombani. Ashunda olib ketdik.
Şunun bilan oxiri bu Kabulni bombardiman qilgan bo'ldi. Shunun bilan biz bu yerda turish imkoniyati bo'lmadi. Shimol tarafda o'zbek o'zimizning tilni xushlaydigan odamlar bo'lganligi uchun, chunki Afg'onistonning shimol tarafida o'zbeklar yashaydigan to'liroq. Hamda baxt qarshi yerim yo'lda do'stimning askarlar tarafidan tutulup qalay jangiga turmusiga elib berildik.
I'll copy, over.
Ondan keyin bombardıman qilindi. Şu Futumşiyada yaralandı şu Amerika armiyasınınki bombardıman qilish näsida. Endi men ko'rdim, o'lab yotganligini, a'zolarini oylayotganligini, hatto chiroylari buzilib ketgan odamlarni ashar ko'rdim. Jig'lati, ho'kirati, chiroyi yo'qmi shunda? Oldi yo'q. Neçə 500'dek əmdi ama sorakçılarının, Amerika sorakçılarının deyişçe 500 yakın adamdı şu 40 neçə adam qalğan üyədə. Üyədə ayaq qılıb, cərahat ilə çıxıb, qızıl verisi arılışıb, üyədə nurğun işlər ilə çıxdıq. Ondan keyin Şıbrğan doktorxanasına verildi. Dem putum operatsiya qilindi. Ondan keyin uyadın Amerika armiyasiga topshirib berildi. Shu ular beni Kandaharga yetkazdi.
Şu maymunun yığarları maymunla yatqan yerler qamını biz yatqan. Abi sen sözlep biripken o maymun. Hayatta maymun taş etip geçip fırlatmay. Çünkü sıxiyalen egallan gene maymunla ait et yeleni. Çünkü şehirki şu Pakistan eşedki xalqdan bir boy kilip bundan sonra ölüp gitişler qaqile. Mening uyumni yeydigan narsasini gücden beremeyme. Hiç nima yo'q. Şehir uruşuladı da. Sizlar yol köstüp qo'ymuş Pakistan chiqitilmaydi menga deb. Birinci 10. aydan 12. aya kadar 2 ay mobaynida şu Torabar etrafındaki tağların içinde şu aylanıp yürüdük. 18 aşağıda qağımız 18, Pakistan 18 adam saqladık. O yüzden bizni 2 gün meyman qilib 10 4'ten 5'ten bölüp uyga bölüp etdi. 2. günü keçdi, şunu ondan kepdi. Qabil başlığı bizim bu yani şu hükümet askerler oqtirdan bu vatada gumanlıq. Şu an sizlarni müş qabil başlığının bir çoğun qorası ve şöyle yütkeptirmiz. Çıraylık maşın çıkını bizim yütkemiz mağlı maşın çıktık. Qarasaq yoğun qar darvazı turutdu. Daha qarasam türme. Boldu da bitomlar olma şigirdi türme. Tizimlap birden sanap u kilidi sanaydı, bu kilidi sanaydı. Əsi şu, her bir sanığın pul tikenden biz bilmey sanağı, nemindacık sanağı bu qaqtıdı. Şunun əmimizdə çoğun darvazını açtı, açsaq, işini açtı, çıxsaq. Bütün Pakistan əskeri qoruşab, bölüğünü, bütün iğri tipli qoral, yengil tipli qorallar, qoruşab maşinlə türmünün aldın turubdu. Onun dinken bildik de setilganligimiz. Biz andak beyli qilib setip qo'ya. Peki şunu put kolumuzni bağlab maşına saldı. Azgın u yerden kohart deganim shu askari turmaga yetgan.
Ben işte esirgen tamam demiş şu tağut kafirlemiş şu Xitay ötküspese. Şu adam tüyüp kitabım muamcı Xitay'dan turması dersil esirgen.
Hükümetten azgın bizni apırıp o resmi kanunlu kaldı Amerika terörist deb ulu 5 milyondan setipler.
Amerika'nın qulluq kispega vaqtda Pakistanlıklar sal rojaatdan sal xotirjam bo'lganda isqantim.
Hem biz özümüz şu Afgan deb tutsak Amerika ötküzüyorsa Amerika'ya bir demokrat devlet olan ekan. Uyg'urlar emas biladi. Biz Amerika ötkeni haqiqatan anglasak bizi çok yordam qiladi.
Lekin bu bizni Pakistan turmusdan yutkab aeroplan chiqarib Qandarga keldi.
Naqib ekilib bizim meydanga yetkizdi. Bazı vaqt şu yetkizib düm yetkizib qo'ydi, midirlamaysa deb. Midirlaganni urdi. Vaqani urdi, gaqismi urdi. Anglatın ba'zilardan ingliz bilemsə devatıda, bilmedigan nima deb bilsa deb urvatıda. Ba'zi bilmaydigan nima deb bilmaysa deb urvatıda. Qiyachiya. Şunun olan axir men beknim qilib ketamay, qo'lim bek qisib etib ko'zim. Midrasam ash kallamga yo'g'on bijamsa uvdi. Şunun olanlar şu tınanmayla yitip kalın. Bir ekirgen onski puş kim geçen kisp saldırıydı. Şu yerde qip yanıcı resimler atıp. Ben Amerikalık des işenmedim de. Ertesi Amerika vargını görüp talağa çıkında Amerikalık bunu desem ben dedi ya bu Amerikalık emas desem balıyor Amerikalık.
Maqsad meniki yosh bola ekan so'roqchi. Meniki mas'uliyatni Pakistan mustabir o'sha undek savollar va shuni so'rab tugidoksam nima dedim. Xotirjam bo'lgan. Men buni shukurga yetkazman.
Bu çataq yo'q. Xitoy bizning dushmanimiz, sizlar dushmanlarga bizlarga yordam beramiz. Vatanni ozod qilgan yordamni xotirjam bo'l, mana ochiq so'zlar dedi. Bo'ldi deb angizgan biz ham meni aniq dedik.
The number of Al-Qaeda and Taliban detainees transferred to U.S. forces in Afghanistan has continued to grow and now stands at 445. As the Secretary said, the first plane with 20 detainees arrived in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. We were notified here at approximately 1350.
They will be handled not as prisoners of wars, but as unlawful combatants. Technically, unlawful combatants do not have any rights under the Geneva Convention. We have indicated that we do plan to, for the most part, treat them in a manner that is reasonably consistent with the Geneva Conventions to the extent they are appropriate.
Soon after Guantanamo opened in January of 2002, I think it was within a matter of a few weeks, the Center for Constitutional Rights filed a lawsuit to challenge the idea that the men who were held at Guantanamo could be held there without charge or without trial. To represent the men who were held there was very controversial, because if you remember, these are men that were labeled the worst of the absolute worst. The United States government created Guantanamo because it was supposed to be a place entirely outside the law. And the notion that the United States would try to do that was offensive to me. It was offensive to me as an American. It was offensive to me as a lawyer. And it was something that I had a professional and ethical obligation to try to do something about.
Şu kamp 2012-yılı 1. ayının ahiri bizni Guantanamo'ga şu Guantanamo ep geldi. Bu yerda bir mezgil davolagan bo'ldi. Bu yerda askarlar menga qilib qo'ydi, sening putini kesidi yo deganda men bunda vaqt odam yaqin odamlarni bir maslahat soladigan, birisi bilan paranglashadigan bir odam izlaydi ekan. Atrofimga qarasam, men hech kimning tilini bilmayman, o'zim. Oxir o'ylash orqali mayli degan qaror ularga berdim. Shuning bilan nimalar kallamga kelganligini bilmayman. Hayotimdagi ig'ir kun ko'zlarimdan taramlab yosh chiqib ketdi. Qanchalik vaqt o'tdi bilmadim, bir vaqtida ko'zimni ochimay, ochdim, atrofimda sesiralar bor ekan. Nasim yipiqliq, ustim yipiqliq. İşte yotqanlarımda qardım. Ayağa qarsam yenimde asker var, ikki tarafımda ikki asker var. Maqsadimni tushundi. Tushunib yotqanni ochib qayardim. Putim yo'q. Hem de benim put kollarım kişenlik yanıla. İki kolam iki kişenlik. Ma putum kesilgen putum kişensiz ki. Sağ putum kişenlik. Karvatka şu kişen. Koyuz kişen bile yatkız olup ben.
It was early April 2002. My phone rang. And when I answered, it was a major from one of the contractors providing language support for Guantanamo. And then he asked, have you heard of Uyghurs being caught in Afghanistan and brought over to Guantanamo? And I said, yes. I need you to go to Guantanamo and translate for those Uyghurs. And I was shocked, actually. I didn't know what to say. But then I decided to go for it. I decided to go and serve my country when the country needed my service.
2012-yılı 6-8 günü Guantanamo'ya gidip geldim.
2012-yılı şu 6. ayının 17'de bizden Guantanamo'ya gidip geldi. Şu aeroplan düşəyə vaxtıda məni birinci qılıb bağlab diken. Ondan keyin işte hayatım, şimdi adam ötüp gideyim de bizimdeki gayem boyunca.
In June 2002, I have been told that that particular airflow has some Uyghurs. So I came in, and all I see is about 50, 60 men in orange jumpsuit. They all look the same. Then I started to just yell and shout, Said, anybody who's Uyghur, I said that in Uyghur language. Anybody who's Uyghur here, anybody can hear me who's Uyghur? Then I started to have a response back from different corners. I am Uyghur, I am Uyghur, I am Uyghur. By that time, we had 22 Uyghurs. When they brought the first Uyghur man for the interrogation, I was pretty nervous, actually, because I did not really know who these people are at that time. All I can think is he could be a terrorist because they are here in Guantanamo as the terrorist suspects.
Şunun bilen bir gün yana sorakka ep çıkkan boldu meni. Çıksam aldımda harbiy kiyim bilen bir ayal oturuptu. Ben bundan qarap hem de bir qarap Uyg'urga o'xshaymi, biri qarab bu da oyoq yo'qdi. Endi o'zimizdan tilida bir so'roq masalasi hamda chingish bo'lgandan keyin ba'zi yerda o'xshamay qolib qolsak,
işte so'roqchilar biz ko'rishimiz, nimishqa biz bo'lib qoldi, qachon bizni qo'yib berdi, ya bular bilan bizning adovatimiz bo'lmasa, ya bular bilan biz bu urush banda qilmagan tursak.
Undan keyin u Amerika september meselesine muş sebebimiz Afganistan'a uyat tutuldunlar. Şu anca sizler bir yerde şu çoğun siyaset kırıp kaldınlar.
And through my translation, actually the first time they really got the attack, they understood. And they felt really bad, actually. The first thing they said every time when we explained this to them is they're really sorry for the victims, and which is absolutely wrong in Islam.
Sizlerin qanday shunday degan bo'lish mumkin, ammo hozir Amerikaning siyosati o'zgartib, butun jinoyatchilar hamma shu Guantanamo keldi. Shunday sizlar birga keldinglar. Agar mishada gunohsiz bo'lib isbotlansanglar, qo'yib berasizlar. Shu askarlar mushi sening yering deb kirib qilib qo'yib ketgan ekan.
Iraq's behavior demonstrate that Saddam Hussein and his regime have made no effort to disarm as required by the international community.
In 2002, the United States was intent on going to war in Iraq. And in the run-up to that, there was an effort by the United States to convince the Chinese government not to veto a UN Security Council resolution paving the way for military action in Iraq.
五，国际社会普遍希望在联合国框架内政治解决伊拉克问题，避免战争，这是安理会必须重视的。
And what happened is that as a quid pro quo for the Chinese not standing in the way of that Security Council resolution is that the Americans agreed to list what's known as the East Turkestan Islamic Movement as a specially designated terrorist group, and to label the Uyghurs in Guantanamo as members of that group, of what's known as ETIM. Uyghurs are viewed as separatists, which in the minds of the Chinese government is equivalent to a terrorist.
Kilib askar aldınlar müştaq bizi kilib deb qo'ydi müştaq Xitoydan ma'lum vakillar kelib sizlardan ko'rishmoqchi edi. Degan vaqtida biz rad qildik. Rad qilsak, andikin nimni Roshan xon o'tibdi, yuqoridan müştaq nim qilishga deb.
I was disappointed, actually. I was really disappointed in my country, the US government, how they allowed the Chinese government to do whatever they want in the prison camp, which was located in the US military base.
8 saat, 9 saat ot ağzı qo'yib, balla 5ni ko'targan olmay, qaqamaqliq. 3 gün 4 gün açık kaldı. Şunun olanda meni ahırda açıkkan.
Onun da Xitay'ın adamları kelip air condition hemmini içip dedi ha. Şunun da soğuk. Onun da sağ konulam yerim oldu. Muş iş plaslanınki rezillikini Amerika hükümeti bilip turib nemişka bolağamışdı. Ruhsat kıldı o. Muş adamlar soğuk nimde kıynaşka.
Nereden Şarkı Türkistan'sam ikisi kopup gitti. Şarkı Türkistan'da yer yok dep. Desem sen teröristlik kılıp, anda kılıp. Men teröristlik kılmadım, ben hiç qanday iş qilmadim. Afg'oniston Qur'on kitap. Qur'on kitabında Qur'on o'rgandik biz.
So'roq qilish jarayonida bizga nasihat qilgan bo'ldi ketish uchun. Aşağı ketanglar, kelsanglar, azraçlarni so'roq qilib qo'yib beramiz, buni qilamiz deb.
Ama resim tatimiz degan vaqtida men unutmagan boshqa bola unutmasa shu amerikalik askardan ikkisi kirib meni bo'g'ib tutib berdi, majbur resim tatdi.
None of the foreign delegation, when they came, they were allowed to come in with the camera and take pictures of their citizens. But the Chinese government was allowed to. So basically they had the red carpet treatment when they were in Guantanamo.
Men ismini nima uyoqlar degan vaqtida men demagan. Shunda ular xotirini chiqarib deb berdi. Buni ham da o'sha Amerika hukumati beribdi ekan.
All the confidential classified information were turned over to the Chinese government. Also, the interrogators repeatedly promised the Uyghurs, this is US property. It says classified here. They were showing those folders and holding the top and saying, did you see the word classified? All these are classified information, which is the US government's property. No one will see this. No Chinese government. Nobody will see this.
Keyin shuni ketganda menda berib o'tibsizlar. Hammani ismingizni bunda uying qolaydi, hammani deb berdi. Shuni desek, Amerika Washingtondagi bizning bir odamimiz uqishmay berib qo'yibdi Xitoylar materiallarni deb tugatdi.
And they were also questioning me, looking at me, because all these promises from the interrogators came from my translation. You know, so I was just translating what the interrogator said, but they were also upset with me as well.
Hatta ular ketishuvlarla bizni jazolasi uylarga kirib qo'ydi. Bularga ham hayron qoldik hamda ularni yig'izdimayaqning gapini mayaqni deb qo'ymayaqdi, ba'zi ishlarni qilaverdi Allohga. Chunki Xitoy hukumatiga yaqinmaganligimizni bular gunoh hisoblab qo'yadi, bizni qarang uylardi, jazoladi, haftalar.
Men 30 qitim so'roq chiqdim, 25 qitimni so'roqimda hammasi so'roq sizlar gunohsiz, qo'yib birimiz, sizlar davlat izloatimiz, sizlar xato qilib qoldinglar. To'g'ri, hukumatimiz sizlarga xatolik o'tkazyapti, ammo bu amal yo'q. Birdan bo'ladi, sabr qilinglar. Men 25 qitimni so'roqda shu gapini angladim.
And by September, I believe, October 2002, pretty much the US interrogators and US military concluded that the Uyghurs were not against the US. By the end of 2002, I realized that my mission became unimportant because the interrogators were losing interest in meeting with Uyghurs. So I went to the chief of staff of the Joint Task Force, Colonel Cummings. And I just went to his office one morning and I came to him and I said, okay, I am going to resign from this mission.
U yerda nurg'un tarjimonlar va arablarimiz boshqa, ammo shu yerdagi tarjimonlarning ichida hamda yolg'iz bizga emas, hatto arabdagi boshqa millatlarga ham ro'shan bo'lgan ta'sir yaxshi bo'lgan. Iliq bizga kompyuterlarga kirib bergan, yit bayramlarga kelib yo'qlagan. Shularda degan bu ajoyibkan, bu sizning yaxshi ayolkan bu.
So me leaving them at that point, like leaving my work in halfway, not being completed, And I didn't know what's going to happen to them. I didn't know when they would be able to go somewhere safe. So it was not an easy decision for me to give my resignation and then leave the base.
Bir ay, 2-3 ay saqladık, bu bir yıl olub ketkendan keyin başqa so'rashni so'rasak, ya hozir Amerikaning siyosati sizlarga bo'lgan o'zgarib qoldi hozircha. Shuni sabr qilinglar dedi. Shuning bilan u yerda 2,5 yilmi komfort turib ketdik.
My fellow citizens, at this hour, American and coalition forces are in the early stages of military operations to disarm Iraq, to free its people, and to defend the world from grave danger. More than 35 countries are giving crucial support, from the use of naval and air bases, to help with intelligence and logistics, to the deployment of combat units.
The U.S. government took the position between 2002 and 2004 that the detainees as non-U.S. citizens held outside of the United States, that they had no right to go to a federal court and challenge their detention. But then the Supreme Court said that yes, in fact, these men have the right to challenge their detention. Shortly after the Supreme Court issued its decision, the U.S. military set up what were called combatant status review tribunals. And these were administrative panels that were designed to determine whether someone was or was not, in fact, a so-called enemy combatant. And I say so-called enemy combatant because enemy combatant is not a recognized status under international law. It's never been. This is a status that was created by the United States military. So each detainee at Guantanamo went before a combatant status review tribunal, or what's known as a CSRT.
Sotqa chiqsa harbiy sotda agar o'zingning gunohini isbotlay olsang chiqib ketsa, isbotlamasang qolasan.
deb shu gapni badi. Shundan o'tirib turib ketdim. Bu gapdan gap yo'q. Men 2013-yilda so'roqda bizni ishqini oldi to'g'antinglar, ishqi qaqsalam chiqsizlar deb shu gapni qildi. Tajikashlik misha turib bikadimga so'chiqdan qanday ishmagan deb.
They were given a summary of accusations against them, but they had no ability to present their own evidence. They had no ability to question the government's evidence. They had no lawyer present. Even if they had a lawyer, that lawyer wasn't allowed to participate.
Shundan hamda boss bola, bir gap bola oxiri bir kun chiqaman-g'o deb naytan o'zim umidli qoldi. Shuni ancha parvo qilmaygan bo'ldim uningga. Chunki men hech qanday bir xatoligim bo'lmagan ekan, xato ish qilmagan ekan.
Bütün narsani shu og'izdan chiqqaniga javob berib, eng oxirida so'chchilarmi gap topolmay qoldi-da. Mesela hammasiga to'liq javob berib, eng oxirida dedim, men sizlarning bu qilayotganingiz zulm dedim oxirida. Bu qilayotganingiz zulm. ...2004-yilda G'anim so'roqdan kirdi. Bizning yenimiz qo'shni uy dedi. Nega chiqding desam, advokatga bilan ko'rishdim dedi-da. Agar olmasang, men yordam qilib xat yozib beray dedi.
This is a copy of the request for legal assistance that we got This had been sent out via another lawyer from the prison, and it contained our first two clients, including Abu Bakr and Adel. I'm a trial lawyer in the bankruptcy area, so if you have a large bankruptcy case like Enron or something, Lehman Brothers, we often have clients who have big positions in those companies. It may have been the first month of 2005, I went to a seminar locally about Guantanamo. And basically all of these people were saying that we are in obvious and facial disregard of the Geneva Conventions at this camp that we're running at Guantanamo. And I thought, really? So I thought our law firm should get involved. And just then, the Center for Constitutional Rights said, we've got these Uyghurs down there that we're worried about. We all said, a what? A Uyghur? What is that? And so that was when in the winter of 2005, we began to learn about Xinjiang and the Uyghur culture and how this had all happened.
Yılın 5. günü bizni çağırdı. Biz günü sorak dedim badık. Basak şu bir Amerikalık çoğun komandan generalken yani bir ikisi oturuptu. Bugün sana en hoşlarına göre senin günahsız deyip ispatlanıp çıktı. Bu senin sabrağının meyvesi. Bunu yakın çıkıp gitişler. Deyip kolum boş kağızım belki. Özümüzden məqsəm uqturmuşlar, özümüzden günahsızlığını bildirip bugün günü şu hoşallığımdan zaten titrep kettim hem de. Şunda hoşuldum. Hemimiz oxşaş deyip qarayım da. Qaytib keldik. Qağamalar şu bir gün önce açıktı ballarını. Fakat 5 balını açıktı da. Biz buna ait keyfiyetin eski olup gitti de balını aldı. Oxşaş tutuluşumuz 18 balını 13 balını da kopup koydu.
I remember walking into a hut in Camp Echo for the first time to meet Abu Bakr was the first client we met. And thinking, who am I going to meet? Am I going to meet some terrible terrorist? I don't know. I don't have any records. I don't have any documents. I've never talked to him.
Şunu olan bizni apa de şu nimege. Köreşke vaxtımızda oxşaş putqulumuzga putumuzga qolumuzda zanjir putumuz zanjir faqat közümüzün öyle bağlandık içi etti.
I walked into this cell and there's this little guy sitting behind the table, leg chained to the floor, and he's got these kind of Gitmo glasses, which were these goggles that they issued, and a little sort of professorial, owlish looking fellow. And I walked in and I said UYGHURS, which I understood to mean hi, how are you in Uyghur.
Degen ben nimiş geldin dedim ben ona deken. Nimiş geldin bir gitsem, mesemde göre. Nim paysını bir kayının ki. Ben sana xat yazgın neçe oldu emdi kepse. Ben işken al günah so'p bulduk bizsem nime qop ket. Amerika qonunida günahsız adam kişi bile aldığımız otamadı adı. Sen putonda kişi, qolunda kişi sen qanday günahsız? Günahsız deb e'lon qildi, chiqib ketsa da bizni yig'ib qo'ydi. Ammo biz ko'z kishim desem
had a paper that said they were innocent. They weren't allowed to bring me the paper, but they had it in the cell. Once we had the unique circumstance of the Defense Department themselves, without a lawyer intervening, have cleared this guy and said he's not an enemy combatant, and then sent him back to the same prison he came out of. That was interesting, right, as a press story. And from the press went instantly to the court. And the judge was very interested in this. Wait a minute, well, hold on. These guys have been cleared and they're still there. You got some splaining to do, he says to the government. So we had a series of hearings all through the fall. But his decision was to dismiss our petition. It was just before Christmas in 2005, because he said there was no relief he could give. The only place these people could be ordered released was the U.S., because he couldn't order some other country to take them. And he didn't think he had the power over the government's objection to cause them to be brought. So since I have a case in which I can give no relief, I dismiss the case, is what he said. And then we appealed that.
yılı 5. ayının 1. günü şu asker advokat kep dedi bizge. Yani 4 günden keyin Albaniyaga mangizlar deb. Degandan biz dedik Albaniya kommunist davlat nima qilamiz bu yerda kommunistdan keldik, kommunistdan bormasak. Men onu bilmayman.
My opposite number in the Department of Justice calls me up and he says, we're moving to dismiss your appeal. And I said, really? Why? And he says, they're not there. I said, they're not there. Where'd they go? And he says, Albania. And I said, no, Bob, where'd they go really? And he says, Albania.
Shunga kelibdi, kelib Albaniya 20 yil o'tdi, demokrat davlat bo'libdi, iqtisodiy darajada taraqqi qilibdi. Sizlarga u yerga borsanglar, uy, pasport, ish hamma narsani hal qilib berdi ekan.
We were challenging Judge Robertson's decision, and the government was still worried that the courts might not be happy with the notion that there's a habeas corpus writ, but nobody can give any relief. And so that's what led them to moot that case by moving these guys to Albania, which was the only place in Europe where people would cheer for George Bush when he visited.
Albaniyadan da biz yo'lga chiqqandan keyin shu yerda bolalar so'radimda. Keyin nima talab qilinganiga boshqa talabimiz yo'q. Bu necha soat uchimiz deganda 12 soat uchishda. Biz aslında Xitoyga topshirib o'tamdi, Albaniya boramdi, bu 12 soat deb o'zimiz sal men xasatda men boshqa bolalar nima o'ylaydi bilmay o'zim sal qo'rqinch kirdi. Keynimizde saat varken saat qarab turman. Ketib boramiz. Naq 12 soat vaqtda aeroplan qo'ndi yerga. Bizim şehirge sakşına kirdi, ayrıpına yendiki. Şu yerge kolumuzdagidan aldı. İlip şunu su içinlep sularını berdi. Şu vaqtdan azkim balalarning sal o'zimizga qo'limizga evatgani ham erkin bo'lib turibdi.
阿尔巴尼亚方面呢，近日接收了5个人呢，根本不是什么难民，而是东突的恐怖嫌犯。东突呢是国际恐怖势力的组成部分，与基地组织和塔利班有着密切的联系。我们已经向有关方面提出了严正的交涉，要求美国和阿尔巴尼亚尽快将上述嫌犯遣返回中国。
And one of the things that we had been sort of schooled by the old hands was never use the government's interpreters because the clients won't trust them. But guys in Gitmo were saying, get Rushan, get Rushan. So they were the exception to the rule. I just called her up and she said something like, I wondered when you were finally going to call.
It was really mixed feelings, actually. I was excited. After 3 years, I missed them. I wanted to go and see them, how they are doing. But at the same time, I was hesitated because I remember what happened, what the U.S. military and U.S. government said to them 3 years before that. And it's difficult for me to look at them and to say, I'm sorry.
it wasn't until August of 2006 that I finally met Khalil for the first time. He had this, his hair is shorter now, but he had this sort of afro, I remember, and he was very gentle in manner and very bright.
Advokatımız bo'lib bizning foydamizga biz uchun ishlashga ba'zan bir tushuncha bergan bo'ldi. Ammo anladim, aytan yaxshi bir xil menda yaxshi ta'sir qoldi. Ammo bir xil yoki manishlar vaqtga turishlar yoki manishlar vaqtda chiqishlar deb hamda menga aniq bir narsa demadi-da.
There had been suicides at Gitmo that summer, or a suicide. And following the suicide, they had stripped the cells of a lot of the so-called comfort items, including his bed sheet.
He did ask, they took my blanket away. Do you know why? Do you think this has anything to do with my case being in the court?
He wanted to, think about what could be the consequences of proceeding with this lawsuit.
He kept asking the time. How much time do we have? And then it was like, how much more time do we have left? Okay, what time is it? How many more minutes do we have left? So I kept telling him, like, we have 2 hours, and we have 15 minutes left, we have 10 minutes left.
Sevdim ben bir özüm elka. Qanday olardı özüm ya bildim qılanmay şundan şu hozircha tutib turay. Mening ishlarimni tutib turgan bo'lsa, men keyin hozir qabul qilmayman deb shu gapni dedim.
And he starts speaking rapidly in Uyghur, and I watch Rashan, and her face just falls. And I said, "What? What's he saying?" And she says, "I'll tell you outside."
It shocked to me, and I didn't know what to say, so I didn't say anything. I didn't want that to be on the record because I couldn't understand what just happened.
And the guards yelling at me, and I was like, God damn it, it took me a year to get this meeting. Give me 10 more minutes. What's going on? But no, you're out of time. You got to get out of there. And she's, just gone white. And I said, finally, standing in the hot gravel, I said, what just happened in there? And he said, drop the suit. He said, you, meaning Rashan, must make it very clear to him, drop the suit, because the lawsuit isn't worth my bed sheet. And I remember thinking, wow, that's sort of powerful. This great lawsuit that we have isn't worth a bed sheet. And I remember going to ethics professors to say, what do I do in this situation? I don't think the client's crazy. I think he's wrong, but I don't think he's crazy. He's instructed me to drop the suit. Do I have an ethical duty to drop the suit? And of course, all death penalty lawyers say, hell no, you never pay any attention to what the client wants. You're there to protect him. And lots of other people were giving advice that, the guy's judgment is impaired by this situation that he's in. I wasn't sure what to do. So when we filed our next thing, we left his name off it because I thought we had an ethical duty to do that.
Keyin men xat batmishlar deb ketsa, biz to'g'ri tushunamiz hamda sabr qilgan, cho'qim men butun kuchim bilan seni gunohsiz ekanligini isbotlab men chiqishimga yordam qilaman. Bunda deganliksini ya ata ya o'gillikni mumkinmayman bu ishlarsiz o'z raqamda vaqt keldi, vaqt kelsa men vaqtimni chiqarib. Hamda ko'p shunday ta'sirlandim.
Sometime in late 2006, simply because they had built it and had to fill the beds, they started sending our clients to Camp 6.
Hem de bu Guantanamo'daki en qattiq turmalarning birisi, en qattiqi shu bo'ldi.
It was described accurately by one of our clients as the dungeon above the ground, because the second you got in that place, you felt closed in. The walls were concrete. It was all around.
Biz uni hatta ba'zilar qabra Gümbez kabri dep atap koydu. Çünkü bu бүтүнләй meri beton bilen katırılgan. Күннің yorğulum kömeyimiz. Başta 23 saat şuna içi 1 saat gün görüşüp çıkımız. O künnüme bize gün tuş bolganda köreleyimiz texmanda tikleşkende.
For the 1 hour, which they called, without any sense of the kind of black humor of it, they called rec time. You would be taken to the rec area. Okay, so the rec area was a kind of a chimney within this facility, 3 stories high with a mesh on the top, a wire mesh. And if you were lucky, if you were really, really lucky, you might see the sun during rec time, but it would have to be right over this chimney. Even if it's daytime, you're not going to actually see the sun. And that was another thing that hit us is how powerfully men miss the sun. They would talk about it. They would count the days. I haven't seen the sun for 26 days, somebody would tell you, you know. But I did see the sun 27 days ago.
Çünkü paranlaşılgan hiç qanday adam yok. Okuy dese kitap yok. Yazay hem de bir mi qilay dese qalam qog'oz degandek narsa yok. Hech nima yok bizda. Ondan keyin hayotimiz qanday bo'ldi? Hem de nimalar beshimdan o'tdi, hem de nimalar oldim keladi va hamma narsani shu bu yerda jimjitlik. Hamma narsani hayotini bir kunning ichida adam hayotini necha qitim o'ylab, necha qitim nurg'un narsalarni umid qiladigan gap.
Isolation is a killer. You watch people just shriveling. It's like a plant with no water, you know. It was so awful. And the feeling like we'd come out of there thinking, we got to do something, you know, we got to file a motion, we got to file another motion, you know, no one's going to care. We got to run to the press, they won't care. You know, I went to the captain on the base one time and I just basically begged. I said, I'm begging you. I said, I can't do a thing in court. You know that, I know that. This isn't right. You're in charge of this place. It isn't right. Have you met my guy, Khalil? Have you met him? He doesn't belong, you know, basically begging, you know, humiliating myself. And finally, Khalil got out of Camp 6 for no reason that I've ever understood. They never explained why he got out and the other guys didn't.
It became clear that these cases were going to be coming to us. When I say us, I mean not only the federal courts here, but my court specifically. And I got all of the Uyghur cases. So I posed certain questions directly to the government. And I asked quite plainly, I said, are these people enemy combatants? And they hesitated and said, no, we have no evidence to show that they were enemy combatants. I said, well, tell me what danger these individuals pose to the United States or its allies. And they said, we have absolutely no evidence. So I said, well, okay, let me see if I understand. They're not enemy combatants, they're not a threat, but they're still in Guantanamo and they've been there for quite a long time. What are you going to do about releasing them? And the position of the government then was that we cannot release these people for a variety of reasons, but mainly because we would have to place them in other countries and those arrangements have not been made. I said, well, are you saying that you plan on holding these people, these Uyghurs, indefinitely? There was a hesitation. He said, yes. To have this situation presented to me where all these admissions were made about the non-culpability of these individuals, but to tell me in the same breath that these individuals will be held indefinitely really offended me. So at that point, I looked to the government again, and they said, well, there's really nothing you can do, Judge, because it's the prerogative of the executive branch to decide. And I said, well, I think I would like to have these individuals brought here. The prosecutor on his feet dropped his pencil, I think, I'm not sure. But there was dead silence in the room, and I don't think they believed their ears. I didn't think I was doing anything that sensational. I mean, they would still be in custody, they would be brought. He says, what do you mean here? I said, I mean, to this courtroom. And that's when the government said, well, we can't do that, and you can't order us to do that. And I said, well, I just have.
We were standing outside of the chain link fence, and the Uyghurs on the other side, 17 men lined up in front of me. The district court heard your case this morning, and Judge Urbina delivered his decision. And then I couldn't continue. My voice was really shaken up, and I had tears, and I was trying to hold myself not burst into tears. And they all were just looking at me, and I can hear probably the pin drop at that moment. It was so quiet. All we can hear is the waves of the ocean in the background. Then I continued. I said, Judge Urbina declared that you are all innocent and you must release right away. And when I said that again, everybody was just stood there quietly. They were speechless.
Biz hasreten zemin ve hayacanlandım. Bir hoşal buldum. Anam bu sefer bir şikayet gelmez veya bir erken bir bizimizin nimdim uygulayacak şu bir nimkıldım hoşal buldum. Nayet hayacanlandım.
I was leaving the next day from the base. When I was at the Guantanamo airport, there was a plane there actually waiting to take those guys. But then when I landed in Fort Lauderdale, and as soon as the plane landed, I turned my phone on and I checked my messages. And there was an email from Sabin telling us that the government went to appellate's court and put the stop on the Judge Urbina's order. I just sat there on the plane. I was like, oh my God, not again, not this time again.
Hayranmı kaldık, bazı vaxtda bek hayranmı qilib ketmedik. Chunki bizning Amerikaning qo'lida turib atganimizga 8 yil bo'lib qolgan vaqtlar 8.
This first executive order that we are signing by the authority vested in me as President by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America in order to effect the appropriate disposition of individuals currently detained by the Department of Defense at Guantanamo and promptly to close the detention facility at Guantanamo consistent with the national security and foreign policy interests of the United States and the interests of justice, I hereby order. And we then provide the process whereby Guantanamo will be closed no later than 1 year from now. There we go.
As soon as ever Obama was elected, we were after his transition team, trying to get a meeting, trying to get a word in, trying to say, and they were alive to Gitmo as a sort of issue. And I got meetings with various people, and I would say to them, look, it's very simple. If you want to close this prison, you got to do something with the people. If you're going to do something with the people, you're going to have a whole lot of countries in the world cooperate. And if you want them to cooperate, you need to play. And if we're going to play, I've got the guys for you. And sure enough, in the spring of 2009, so he's been president for a couple of months, we get high-level meetings and we cut a deal for the first 2 Uyghurs to come to Virginia.
The Uyghur community in Virginia were so excited about this, and they even rented an apartment for those Uyghurs. And the community was all ready to welcome them, to bring them to Virginia.
That plan was well underway until the spring of 2009, when word of it leaked out. And it leaked out to members of Congress, specifically to Representative Frank Wolf from Northern Virginia, who threw an absolute complete fit and went crazy.
The chair recognizes the gentleman from Virginia, Mr. Wolf, for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, it is my understanding that President Obama's decision regarding the release into the U.S. of a number of Uyghur detainees held at Guantanamo Bay since 2002 could be imminent. The New York Times, ABC News, and other news outlets have reported that the president will soon release these terrorists into the United States. Yet this Congress has not been briefed on this decision. Let me be clear, these terrorists would not be held in prisons, but they would be released in your neighborhoods. They should not be released into the United States. Do members realize who these people are?
It didn't matter how crazy the talk was. You could have a senator, and there were senators saying this stuff, and you'd say, have you read anything about who these people are? Do you know that your own government for 6 years has been telling every country in the world they're innocent and please take them? And you're saying these things in Congress? Really? Seriously? But you couldn't get through the noise.
And unfortunately, to our great regret and to the great regret of the Uyghurs, President Obama abandoned the plan. That was the beginning of the end of President Obama's Guantanamo policy. It was in many ways the beginning and the end of his effort to close the prison.
I started in May, and immediately I turned to the European Union for European governments to negotiate with us arrangements for them to take detainees. I did not like going to countries and asking them to do something that we as a government were unwilling to do. Now, that's not because of the Obama administration. That was because Congress prohibited us. Too bad. And it made it harder. And many countries would say, why should we help you do something you won't do? And my answer was, you're right, we should, but we can't. So the question is, will you help close Guantanamo even under those less than ideal circumstances, or will you not?
那么关押在关塔那摩的美军基地的这17名恐怖嫌犯是东伊运组织的成员，而东伊运又是一个什么样的组织呢？它是被列在联合国安理会制裁清单上的恐怖组织。我们坚决反对呢任何国家来接受呢上述人员。
boshqa kelib bugun keldi deb shu gapni qildi. Fakat ziyoratchilar ba'zilari balkim nima bo'lishi mumkin, halqa muxbirlar bo'lishi mumkin, jurnalistlar bo'lishi mumkin, shu gapni qildi. Unda Alloh bo'lsa xotirjam bo'lgan, kasb kelaversin. dep vallahi şunda dedim. Vallahi adam işte kemekçi iken. Şulağım şu belki bulaka süret kaldı. Devamlı kaygılı süret gelip kulattım da. Süret gelip mandak kulattı. Süret bir narsa aldı. Muştan azak paramda bizne şu bizge resim sizden gatacağız kağıza getpagenti.
Step back from the first plate. Yeah. Thank you.
Step back or they're going to leave.
I told you we have something to tell them because, we had been announced in according to the verdict of court. Why we are still here? Why you don't release us?
Please turn around.
What is the difference between America and China?
They want to go.
Why you oppress us? Why you don't release us?
Biz onu kıldık. Andikin gap kılıp nimkese ulaqatı gap komida askerler kelip başlıklar kelip çıkan dep ziyaretçilerin hemmini çıkarıp etti. Andikin çoğun başlık kelip sizler yaxşı kımıdınlar dep şu gapni kıldı xasiyeten men çağırıp. Şu gün şundaq nayeten bir xil hayatımızga da qaramakka qiziqchilik tug'an bilan ammo hayotimizga unutiliqsiz bir o'zimizga fursatni bir tushunadigan bir fursat kun bo'ldi.
I knew when I ordered Guantanamo closed that it would be difficult and complex. There are 240 people there who have now spent years in legal limbo. For example, the court ordered to release 17 Uyghurs. 17 Uyghur detainees took place last fall when George Bush was president. As president, I refused to allow this problem to fester. I refused to pass it on to somebody else. It is my responsibility to solve the problem. Our security interests will not permit us to delay. Our courts won't allow it, and neither should our conscience.
Bermuda came in and basically said, we want to help President Obama. We're willing to take detainees. We thought, well, the Uyghurs have the most compelling case and we have no legal right to hold them. I flew down to Bermuda. We got there in the late morning, met immediately with the Bermudan premier and the security minister. That afternoon, we reached agreement.
And everybody around the table agreed, we can't wait till daylight because this will leak. This story will definitely leak, and then Whitehall will go nuts, and we're going to have a problem.
Staff deb nimalarni jo'shtiringlar 45 minut ichida asla va'dani ketishlar deb shu gapni qildi. Endi keyin shunlar uni chaqirtib biz nega boramiz, nega ketamiz biz deb bergansak, menga faqatlam delgina ama shu aşan tayyor qilish bo'lgan dedi, men bilmayman. Advokatinglar deyish mumkin deb shu gapni qildi. Biz mo jo'shtirgan bir narsalarni jo'shtirdik bo'lmadik. Bolalar bilan paranglashib o'tirib, kechiringlar, baldinglardan bir to'g'ri deb menda qilib qo'ygan bo'lsak, Alloh xolasa ko'rishamiz.
We finished up the meeting in the mid-afternoon. The plane left shortly before midnight. Same day.
Saat 11 vaqtida kim bir narsa deb ekipto ma'qul kel deb ankasak ishdan ketdi jins ishdan ayting kichikda hamda o do'konni balir shu kun hamda shundan kichik bir narsa patmadi shundan ba o'zimizning bir narsalarni kiyib lekin kechni ilgari bir chiqib juyinib Şu saat o işkoğa vaxtıda yoğan bir aptızın ek geldi. Şuna şeyden töteylerini çıkarıp.
I came up on the bus, saw those 4 men sitting there in all their regular clothes, no shackles. They're just sitting. And it was so exciting. And I came up and I had the privilege of telling them that, well, the plane is here. We are here to get you. You will be free.
It was obviously an emotional moment for the 4 people who I'm sure, didn't really think they'd be leaving. It was an emotional moment for their lawyers who had been working pro bono for years. And after years of frustration, they realized that very quickly these people would be out of Guantanamo.
Şuna makam istep Guantanamo'daki hem işlerine şüvedi, nem işti bergen bolsa, şu pet şüvedi koyup deyip, bismillah deyip airplane çıkıp, Bermuda qarab keldi, uçtuk.
When plane was approaching the land, I got the signal on my cell phone. And I asked them, do you want to call your families? And they did. They started to call their sisters and their families and the mothers and tell them that I am free.
Da 6. ayınki 11. günü edegende Bermuda'ya yetip geldik. Ben bir narsa baka hayran kaldım. 2002-yilda 6. ayının 10'u nimaga Guantanamo'ga elib kelgan. 2009-yilda 6. ayının 10'u Guantanamo'dan chiqdim. Exactly ya bir saat u ham ya bir saat bu yana emas, 7 yil hayotim shu yerda o'tibdi. Bir xil güzel vaqtlarimda shu 7 yillik hayotimni aytayozimniki nima sizga 5, 26, 27 shuni aytan yaxshi hayotimning eng go'zal vaqtlari edi shu vaqtlarim. Ya o'ringa olib shulardan bir o'yinim qilib yoqib degan shu yoq tushadi va tushib o'zimizga ishonganimiz kelmaydi qolsak dengizdan endi ekan shunda chiroyliq adam qarasa dengiz ko'rinib turdi shunda atroflarimi daraxt yashilzorliq aytan chimlar shunda ko'k tashlik bak chiroyli o'rinkan ishtir Rushan xonim qarayman ishtir Sebin qarayman ishtir balla qarayman shuni bilan Sebindan so'dim. Bizim burun bir Uyghur Bermuda kelganmi deb ishladim. Sebin kulib ketib, kelgan kim desam, kim burun tushgan bo'lsa shu kelgan deb shu gapni qildi. Shuni ko'rishib ketdik. Shu
I was in office for about 4 months when I got a telephone call from the U.S. Embassy asking that I meet a special delegation from the United States representing President Obama. And they came on a military plane.
The president of Palau publicly offered to take Uyghurs himself. Now, that was an offer that took some months to conclude, but that was an important offer, and I want to give real credit to President Torobyon.
I heard the word Uyghur for the first time in my life. And then I listened carefully, and I wanted to accept the invitation. Because in the back of my head, I want to do something fantastic for the United States, which have done so much for Palau since World War II.
Palau's offer to resettle our clients was a wonderful, generous, humanitarian gesture. You know, the government of Palau did what the government of Canada, what the government of Germany, what the government of Australia, what the government of my own country, the United States, had refused to do.
The actual transfer took some months to negotiate, and at the end of October 2009, 6 Uyghurs flew from Guantanamo to Palau.
Biz tekshirishda o'tgandan keyin Sa'rda bir cho'ng askariy aeroplanga olib chiqildik hamda putlarimizni kishiyan, qo'limizni ko'yza, ya'ni o'xshash atrofimizda askarlar bilan birlikda qo'llarimiz qayqaz kelib bo'lgan hozir gunohsiz odatga kishilarga o'xshash yashaydigan chikitib bordik. Shunda bo'lsin biz shu yanada jinoyatchilarga o'xshash muomala qilindik. Bundan oxirgi qaytim hamda nihoyatda ko'nglimiz bak g'ashdik, his qildik.
Here it comes. Look at it, black, like a black bat.
Yetib kelgan bo'ldik. Shuning bilan biz poyezd kishanni ilib qarasak, aydirimdan tushsak, falan.
Welcome to Palau.
Bizga hamma narsa qorong'u, hamma narsaga qiziqib qaraymiz, atrofimiz qorong'ulik, taloq chiqib sirtni ko'raylik desak, bu qorong'u.
Nobody knew they were coming. And I surrounded the place for them to stay with armed police officers. I didn't know whether China would send secret agents to kill them or to harm them. My utmost concern was their safety. We were concerned about them. Even the drivers were very concerned. They were kind of nervous about them. But once we got to the house and they walked into this room and saw their lawyers, I realized they were people who have suffered a lot.
Come on in.
Sit down and relax.
How you doing? Flight okay?
We'll wait for the interpreter.
I know. I did 22 hours to see different planes.
So with that, I know you're very tired. You have a very long flight, so I'm going to excuse myself and leave you to the interpreter.
Yes,
so good night or good morning as the case may be.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you very much.
Okay. We arrived at the beach, we set a table for them, and they disappeared for about 30 minutes. When they came back from the back side of the Rock Islands, I can see the sand on their forehead because they've been praying by putting their head to the ground. And they said, it's nice to see trees and the sun and the ocean for the first time.
经反复的、明确的表明了我们的立场。那么我们要求美方能够尽快的将这些恐怖的嫌犯遣返回中国。我们这一立场呢没有变化。
And of course, China did express concern to me personally. They gave me documents and booklets and pamphlets saying these are terrorists. But I simply explained to the Chinese ambassador that your concerns should be addressed to the United States, because it's China-US problem. Palau simply extended a helping hand. Some Chinese were making an investment in a resort. The hotel is still incomplete.
There are times when we gave countries modest assistance to defray some of the costs, not anything like the millions that's discussed, by orders of magnitude smaller than that. But we did provide Palau some of that kind of assistance, which went for housing and education.
But maybe there's no real direct linkage, but after the Uyghurs arrived in Palau, then the negotiations with the U.S. on the compact review for the extension of more U.S. direct assistance to Palau became more favorable. I think it went from 59 million to 100 some million.
It was amazing all these deals that got made around moving the Uyghurs places. I don't know how many runways we had to build in Palau. I think we built half the airport in Tirana. Yeah, it would have been a lot cheaper just to bring them to Virginia.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahmanir Rahim.
Мен чыккандан кийин рас азыраак эркинлик чыкпагандык мис кылдык. Бирок тех эркинликтин тәмини дегендек бияда бизге эч кандай паспорт берилмейди, факат кимлик гуанамыздан башка бизге бияга гражданлык берилмейди. Башкалар окшош бәзі укукларды биз окшош болгон менен яна нерседе азыр биз дөлөтсүз кишилерге айланып калдык мына айтканда. Biz bir devletin fukarası mı emez?
Bir yerde bu 4 yıllık hayatımızda bizim asasiyetin kelgüsümüzne çok ziyan saldı. Mesela Albaniya kelgandagi hozir qadar masalan ko'p xalq yana bizning ahvolni to'g'ri tushunganmizmi, yana oz sondagilar bizni hozir qadar yomon ko'zdan qaraydigan. Masalan butun dunyoda bizning peshon bir terrorist degan bir narsa yozib qo'ygan uchun hattoki ba'zida gap qilishimi ehtiyot qiladigan. Masalan hatto bir o'zimiz mustaqil bir ish qilaylik desakmi, ilaqa ravon qilinmaydigan.
Ben siyasetçinin arasında kurban bulup gittim. Ular beni bir şahmat tahtısının üstündeki bir piçak kılıp aldı. Hasreti beni başkandaşlarımın siyaset cihette.
This is tragic in that these people did nothing wrong. It was ascertained that they had done nothing wrong, that they were not enemies, and yet they lost great chunks of their lives and their dignity and their ability to evolve within their culture and their religion because of political expediency and a failure of the American government to act accordingly.
holding the Uyghurs as long as we did counts as one of the original, the early mistakes of Guantanamo. And we have found on Guantanamo that certain mistakes are non-biodegradable. They don't disappear, they just stay there.
yetekçilikki kurallı kısım. Dönüp bexatarlikki, vaziyet muqimligi va xalq amonligini qo'llash bizning buyuk burchimiz. Xinjiangning amonligini qo'llash jarayonida biz